Alright, welcome back, people, to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Renew, and today we got something a little bit different for you. We got some nice tunes in the back as always, but today I was called to do a predictive message. So today is Tuesday, mate, and because it's Tuesday, we're going to look outwards for the week. So we're going to take a look at each day, starting with today, and some overall energies. And in these overall energies, we're going to look at what is the energy for the week that we're supposed to be living life as. We got 51 weeks left. 51. That's 50-pound dumbbell. You know, that's the amount of time that we have left in this year. So the analogy is, if you can carry that 50-pound dumbbell around with you, like it's super light, you can take it everywhere with you. That shows that you have enough strength to maximize your time. Like the amount of time that you have in this world, that 51 weeks, that is not going to slow you down in any which way. So, in other words, you are moving faster than the time. You caught momentum. You've been doing it for a long time. You're conditioned. You have the time and energy put in already, which is why it's easy to, live your life moving through time easily when you got 50 extra pounds on you. You don't need it to be later. You don't need to procrastinate until later. Even if you just started and you can only lift 5 pounds. Like, the idea is there's 50 in here. So the idea is 55. Well, that's a factor of 10. So you got to think in 10 different steps all the way down to that person who can only lift that 5-pound weight. You got to start to see that as a part of yourself. And this is what we're going to do with this life purpose cards. Because different selves or different parts of you are going to be expressing themselves differently on each day. This is your mood, how you be feeling. It's you, but why do you feel so different? Why do I need discipline to do all the things of yesterday today? This is what I'm trying to help you understand. You can be disciplined with your actions, and of course, you can do the same things every day. But what about the in-between of you doing those same things every day? Those things change. Like driving to work. Every day when you commute to work, people got different clothes on, even if it's the same motherfuckers. Some people got the same clothes on with different hairstyles. Some people do the exact same shit all the time, but today they talking, yesterday they weren't. There are differences that you can notice always, and if we can maximize those differences, then we can really be aligned with our life purpose. So, let's get into a card for the week. Let's get into a card for each day, and let's get some advice on what we can do. I want you to really embrace these things, man. Embrace these things because these are aspects of you that only you can express for yourself. You have to learn to be a teacher. You're already a student to life, and then you're already a parent to life. A motherfucker telling people or supporting people who are helping your children or your creations. Guess what? You are creating yourself, and you're also a parent to yourself, and you're also a teacher to yourself. So self is not you. I try to make a big clear difference. Self is a word that represents the multitudes of you. So you is a thing on its own as well. You is a word for somebody external. But the letter U in the English alphabet, the letter U, that represents a single entity. So these are semantics, but the importance about semantics are the details of the consciousness. That's why they are in synapse, or the synaptic cleft of the neurons. When you have this space between, if I don't have any stimuli, it's going to be pretty hard for me to just jump across the fucking gap. Like, I might need some stimulation or a running start, and then I can jump. So that is the concept of us thinking. When we're thinking about changing ourselves, when we're thinking about even becoming aware, we gotta see that it is parts of us interacting with others, so we gotta view it as something new. The interaction of self is not the same as you interacting, nor is it the you observing the interactions being stimulated within your recall memory, let's say. Damn, I remember when I was 6 and I got this. But how can you be remembering that as you when you are you doing the remembering, watching both happen? Again, this aspect that I'm trying to bring to us as the observer, the principal who walks into the classroom and observes the students and the teacher all work together. The principal know what they're doing, the students know what they're doing, the teacher know what they're doing, but the students and teachers know what the fuck they got going on together, and the administrators got their own shit going on too. There's so much independence. Just like every single day of this independent week. Week number 51, you are independent on Monday through Sunday. So because we are independent, we got to start to realize that I might be an independent self of the week. In other words, there's a part of me who don't want to do shit this week. I got to figure out where that part is, and then don't let it influence other areas, because each day we're going to have some kind of different focus, just like in the classroom. On Mondays, most of the time you introduce the lesson. On Fridays, most of the time you took a test on the lesson. Like, we want to make sure that things are progressing and changing across each and every one of these 51 weeks left that we have in 2025. But the reason why I'm trying to bring your perception to this more clear-cut point of view is because this is a 9 years. You need to reflect. And it's not about sitting down and doing nothing like people think reflection is. It's about reflecting upon the foundational aspects that you've built up in the previous lifetime. And now, in this cycle, are you able to apply it as consciously as possible? We're going to start off with a week and a day, and I think that's okay. We can chunk those weeks and days into what we call months, and those months can just be simply called sections. So if I said the first quarter of the year, I wanted you to understand not just months, I want you to understand it on a week-to-week basis. Why? Because the week is easier to handle when you got so much change going on from the day to day. So let's look at what the overall energy is for week 51. What is your life purpose for this week? On this January 7th, 2025, a Tuesday. On a Tuesday, we got Cube cards. I'm so sorry for anybody from my European watchers. I don't know why I'm doing this, but we're about to find out. I'm not, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but, it's Tuesday, mate. I don't know. So, here you go. I think this is great. I think this kind of fits right in. So I was nervous. Again, that's why I even decided to apologize, but I shouldn't have. Creatively expressing myself on this Tuesday morning is what I'm doing. My soul longs to express itself creatively. So it's no disrespect to you. It's just a part of me that wants to have a vocal change in the creative way I express myself. Because, man, if I was to do something like this, you would not say anything about talking about it on the island. Something like that. I don't know. But because that's just an accent that I've heard and I actually haven't been there, the same way with me being in Europe, it's just me as like a kid mimicking things that I've seen in life. This is my soul's urge this week. So week 51, our soul's urge is to create upon itself. So I started off this morning doing things that a lot of people say you shouldn't do. I mean, I like to go on Instagram and things, TikTok, and I'll scroll, and I look for happy shit. And the morning time is different from the afternoon time. Just like if you get your ass up early in the morning and you like, damn, I'm only out here. But if you go to the park, you'll see there's other people who are up to. They're all probably thinking the same. It's just going to be me. And now it's like 18 different, it's just going to be me's at the fucking park together at 4 in the morning. That is the creative expression that we're learning about. I know it seems a little bit far apart, but we got to take a step back and look at this creative expression as something that has already occurred. Again, I want you to reflect. Everything is going to be looking backwards for this year so you can see how you got to your movement forward. Again, if you take a step forward, you should know what goes behind you. If you take a step forward, you should know what goes behind you. If I move my hand forward, you know it disappeared. Or should I say the cards are just behind me now? The idea is when you are just living your life and being thoughtful of the things that you're doing in your life, you're going to become more conscious to the things that you're not doing. It's an inversal aspect, but we just throw that shit to the side. Similarly to how you are your own best teacher. You must use your external teachers as a thing to mimic. So the teachers you do like, you should mimic them and teach yourself, talk to yourself, treat yourself in the same manner as your favorite teacher. You like them for a reason. There's a part of you that is expressing that it creatively bonds, or in other words, it can jump from the synaptic cleft from your brain and their brain, and you guys can match a frequency of jumping across. In other words, you're balanced. In other words, you are in equilibrium. In other words, you're in a flux state, fluctuating between this side, that side, this side, that side, this side, that side, this side, that side. But you're doing it in a way to where you're in sync. Now you're a double dutch team jumping rope. Now you're a double dutch team, not jumping rope, you're turning the rope. Now you're a double dutch team, not turning the rope, not jumping in that motherfucker, but you're the one cheering on the outside. And you can even be a fan too. But however that soul is expressing itself between that exchange, that is the idea of you. You gotta realize that that part of you is inside of you. So this week is us. Our objective overview for this week is, what am I? What am I doing? So imagine yourself to be in the classroom, and anytime you have a sensation, try to put a face. Personify is what we would call this in figurative language. Figurative language is all about comparing things. So in figurative language, we're always going to be using that to compare ourselves. And when we apply literal language to that figurative world, we get a metaverse. The real world words of people on Facebook getting implanted into a world on the internet. And in that internet called Facebook, now we have these interactions separate from what we would do on the outside. Things going viral. The thing is, the creative expressions is how things become viral. So enough people injecting into Facebook their real world thoughts, and more negativity is populating and circulating and becoming viral upon that platform. That shows you the creative expressions of people in this world. They're not expressing themselves, so a part of them who is supposed to be just an audience member is sitting in the fucking stage trying to double dutch. Mama, I'm sorry, I know you used to do this, but it's not like you can't do this shit no more. Like, we're doing backflips. Your ass tripped walking. Like, what? No. Like, you gotta reposition yourself. But because it's easy to see mom versus daughter, right? We got to start to see ourselves as the same thing. So personify yourself. I like to use immaturity and maturity. Those are my two favorite key indicator faces to use, because I've seen mature children and I've seen immature old ass people. So because of that, this is how you protect yourself. You are safe and supported while you change your career. So there's life changes that's happening, which is a career versus a job. The career is your mindset upon how you view world. View world comes into the world that you are entered into. It's not the totality of the worlds around you yet. So when you view world, you have to understand that world can become plural in your own self before it can become an external plural onto your own world. So when you view world as an independent thing, as if it was, I was about to say something real nasty, but we can act like it's you having a house and you're entering your house. That is the mindset that we're having of your world. I just want to say world because I want us to understand it's so general, it's upon you. So when we're looking at the ways that we're expressing ourselves, know that you're doing these things to filter out what does not belong. These are the mature thoughts and the immature thoughts. And these thoughts that express themselves creatively, like how I was formerly doing the different accents, and I haven't done that for about 5 minutes, but I just reminded you of what happened about 7 minutes ago. This is me trying to show you how I can creatively use my own mindset across a linear aspect of time. The video is going to confirm these things. Even if my numbers are off, they're always going to be off because my mind is progressing this way. I'm not looking behind me, even though I know that there's things behind me. I don't know exactly the rate at which these things are moving. I know the rate at which I'm moving. So guess what? I know what I'm trying to create for this week. You have to be okay with things that you have that come up against you as you go along this week. This is mindset. This is change. This is compound interest. This is you compounding the different experiences of your life together into one. Let's see. A little bit more. This is Tuesday. Counseling. Winged being to winged being. That's like you to you. Okay. Tuesday. Let's pull them all out. Tuesday. I don't know if y'all saw that or not. I did, but we'll see. Tuesday. Wednesday. Keeps teasing y'all. Because the reflection, so I'm assuming the people who are seeing it are supposed to be seeing them. Thursday. First one I want to show. Friday. Second one I want to show. Saturday. Okay. Sunday. Definitely wanted to make itself shown. Monday. Final day. Feel like this is an overall. So we'll put that over there. I think that's our final message. So, author. This is the foundational energy to all of these for the rest of the week. Outside of counseling, it says, you have a book inside of you. that wishes to be expressed. Creative expression. You got some words in you that want to come out. Make the time to write it. Okay, so here is what I really want to help y'all understand first and foremost. Creative expression is not words written, it's emotions felt. Writing in class is hard for most students because they don't use the right voice. They don't have a passion or a person or creative self. Damn. They don't have a creative self that is willing to use words to convey this information, which is why boring papers sound boring. It's because the people who are writing them are thinking about them in a boring way, which means they're using boring words, or they think the words being applied in the subject are boring, and they're not creatively expressing. They're just expressing. So the words themselves are not what we're looking at. We're looking at the feeling behind it. And so clearly there's a few that we see. So we got words like yoga, travel, speaker, animals, but these things have different meanings. Let's take a bit deeper look. This deeper look that we can take, we're looking at these days: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday, this says your life purpose involves traveling. Again, we're talking about what is the theme for this day. On Thursday, you might be traveling to far off places in your thoughts. You got to keep that in mind. You might be traveling to far off places on your Instagram scroll, your TikTok feeds. It might be taking you places that you've never gone. A lot of this has to do with communication. This card is talking. But Thursday is a card, or is a day that normally prepares people to talk about the weekend. I think you need to think further. So, might be like planning goals. It might be long-term thinking. It might be long-term conversation. Well, whatever it is, maybe it's a long-needed desire to communicate with a deeper part of self. Why do I say that? Well, because Friday comes up and the yoga card shows up. And it says, your life is enhanced by yoga, stretching, and exercising. Yoga, stretching, and exercising only has to do with breath. That's all of these things are. It's breathing, which is why like people can be super healthy just fucking breathing. And then they can be even healthier by breathing while stretching, called yoga. But there's different kinds of breathing while stretches, which is the actual branch of yoga. Pranayamas versus like hasanas, vinyasas. These are differences of the same thing. But then what if I don't want to actually move from stretch to stretch? What if I want to stay in a position and work that one position over and over and over? Now you're in the gym exercising, or lifting weights, or you in the gym doing the same layup over and over, or the same basketball shot over and over, exercising. The same racket swing over and over, just this place versus that space. Tennis. Lots of different ways to get the breath connected to the mind or the communication. Okay? And then the next day comes in. Again, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday is the day of Saturn. Saturn is all about control, management, maintenance, and I told you so's. That good daddy energy. Then that great granddaddy energy. That granddad energy. You got to start to see it's the mature side. So it's like the communication and the breathing that you have upon yourself is needing to be improved on by a knowing and a maturity of what? Well, it says animals, so I'm thinking it's your animalistic nature, but it says you understand animals and communicate with them intuitively. Trust your inner guidance as the animals are a part of your life's work. The beast, I think this is referring to things outside of you. You know how to take angry people and make them not just fucking like not angry. You can make their ass sad and like, forgiving. Like you can take a beast and make it docile, but then the beast keeps its bestiality. It will still come and fucking kill you, the cheetah. But for some reason, it's being super gentle and understanding. It's like you're on the same frequency. It's like you have the same synapses. Oh, you're breathing and you're thinking. You synchronize your breathing and your thoughts so you can now see which self is breathing and thinking. In other words, the thoughts that you have in your mind if you were to do yoga are going to be different than when you do weightlifting if you're a bodybuilder. If you, believe it or not, there's people I've met who just by the word of yoga and so, like just by the word they've like reacted certain ways. I have never been taught certain things. I had to learn things on my own, so I never had a bias upon certain things. So even when I was growing up in a Christian family, I've met Christians by just hearing the word yoga would say that was the devil. What somebody's got to help a brother out. Where does it say like yoga is the devil in the Bible? Like tell me that, because I'm sure it tells us in the Bible that we need to honor thy vessel. There's ways, there's actually techniques into doing that's listed in the Bible. But this is yoga, and this is techniques for moving the body based upon a religious take. So maybe, this is the one kid who pulled the one topic out that really wants to creatively express, but the rest of my group members don't give a damn, so they're just doing whatever. I'll do it. No, I got it. This is that kind of energy. Like, what if that was in there? And like, just the word in and of itself made you like, to me, again, the Christian, they treated it like it was a demon and they need to eradicate it because of the word. It was crazy. Again, I never had that kind of experience because the same thing with like animals. Some people hear the word animal, they instantly think like dirty and nasty. But bitch, you are animal too, you dirty and nasty motherfucker. But they don't realize the dirty and nasty creative expressions that they have within themselves because they don't know they don't breathe with the right communication. And the reason why I say that is, if I'm a mature grandpa, I can just say what I want to you and it make it look like it's nothing. And I just breathe and act normal. But in reality, as humans, that person, grandpa, has thought of what they were saying probably way longer than you've been alive. So they have enough understanding to say, I don't know exactly what's behind me, but I got a general understanding of what's behind me. So even though you're new popping up with this old ass issue, I'm gonna say it like this. But you have if you're aligned, have the creative expression to be just as calm as grandpa and say, well, grandpa, shit don't happen like that no more. This is why it used to be. I'm trying to tell you something new. Are you willing? That's like you quelling that flame for that beast. You have to be able to understand that you know how to take the parts of you that want to be in a stagnant creative position. It's clear that it's there. You clearly look like you worked out, or you clearly look like you've been flexible with a cheerleader or something, or gymnastics. A lot of little girls do gymnastics and track and soccer. Those three things, a lot of females play. And guess what? They all stop a lot of that shit. Drill team, cheer, all of that shit gets stopped. And then guess what? They just stop doing anything. And it's crazy because they have that connection of what it means to be disciplined, work hard, and all the values of what is required to be like a person who's expressing themselves creatively. But for some reason, those communications between the animalistic self gets lost. And so I think that's the key. But let's talk about what our energy is today. Tuesday is justice. Your career brings fairness and protection to others who need your help. So if I had to throw myself into this equation, this is me doing what I'm doing right now. I'm doing other things too, and I'm hoping that you'll be around to where you can see how you can really help yourself in a more practical way, which is all about mindset. I'm a life coach because I've been a counselor, teacher, a guide. I've been a good brother, great son. I've done a great spouse. All of these things in the past, but I'm in the business of helping self, which means that I've taken from all of those other places and I put them in places inside of me. And now I'm surveying, managing my own internal values that I see externally. I have a world, a modeled world inside of me, inside of my solar plexus, just as the sun shines the world upon its own light. This justice that comes from us being alive on this week 51 is allowing us to see that we are alive so we can do things that's never been done. It's new. It's a new place for self creation. It's a new place of expression of that self created. It is us, the you, plural. Whatever. It's the letter U, capital letter U, plural, apostrophe S. That is a possession. So it's the yous that you possess before the YOU that you become externally to somewhere else. This is chapter Yo in Yo Spark. You have to start to read these books. You gotta read these books, man. These are the textbooks to the changes that you want. Now I just have more ways to help you. Again, it's going to bring you protection. Aren't we protected? Yes. That's the overall energy of 51. So try new shit. Even if you are doing a, let's say, New Year's resolution and you already stopped, I literally teach you how that's a part of the continuation. So get your ass up and try again. I have resources for you to do that. Again, this is me realizing my own justice of the reflection. I know I can help you. I just know I need to try to make people understand I can help them better. I need to improve upon my efforts on trying to get people to understand that I can help you out. And I don't know why people outside the classroom take that so rough, but I know it's because when I was in the classroom, there are people who I'm there, I'm trying to help, and they just don't want the help. There's a lot of those kind of people in the world who just refuse, and you look at that motherfucker and like, why are you doing this? Like, you don't even understand. Like, this is a cool ass assignment. He cool as fuck. What are you doing? We ain't never had nobody like this. Like, why are you being like this? And the kids start to realize the differences between people. That is the fairness that I brought to kids, because other teachers would just sum shit up as group things and people things, and that's just them things, when in reality I was new and I treated everybody so fair and they felt protected that they were able to creatively express themselves, no matter if I was there a day or 3 months. I really helped people bring justice to themselves, and this justice is not balanced. It's not balanced, this justice. It's skewed, and it has to be. It has to be skewed. So whatever you got going on, you need to start to skew that towards the help of others more so. Again, it might seem selfish like me talking about myself, but I'm giving you an example of like me doing it for you right now. So just like when I would do it in the classroom. If I can sit here and I can write a whole paragraph on the board, you need to be able to write a whole paragraph on your paper. Shit, you can even copy the things that I'm saying and change a subject now. This is me teaching fourth graders. You need to be able to use your time to do the things that you know you can do. So start off a sentence with a what? Capital letter. Exactly. Put a letter on there that's big and you will start some fucking where. If you can't start, turn around and talk to somebody. I don't give a fuck. So, that was crazy. The internet just went off. We're still back on this Life Purpose week reading. This is week 51, counting down to week 0. And we were talking about how in the classroom, you just got to start, and I used to make sure that people could just start by doing the things that they needed to do, even if they was just yapping with a friend. I'm your friend right now in the classroom trying to help you yap with yourself. Bring that justice to your life today, whatever it is. Even if it's romantic, that's a part of life, even if you don't want to look at it. Look at all the parts that you need to see. Look at all the parts that need to be and not to be. Wednesday, what do you do? Well, if I'm going to grieve and bring justice, I'm going to also pay myself with the flowers of life. Working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. Give yourself your flowers. That's why you're in justice. Once I realized that, like, now just promoting and talking like about the shit that I know works and I've seen works, and that I went and bought this and I bought the materials and I made this just for you. Like, I can do that now. I can give myself the flowers, realizing that I've been doing certain things like, self-dating and things like that for a long time, because that was justice. Again, I took all the things on the outside world and I made models of it within me. And I played house with myself on the inside and saw how I wanted to interact in all of these different areas of the world, or of world inside. And then I can connect a string that will show me how it is entangled within me. In other words, what's on the inside, I can connect it to something on the outside, and I can sever that tie, cut that string. I can cut that string if I have a change, and it doesn't change with me. So now I can see all the beautiful things that are modeled inside me that I want to occur, and I can give myself congratulations and flowers and kudos and pats on the back and motherfucking ice cream and bomb ass foods and outings and shopping. I can give myself all of those flowers because I'm acknowledging that I've done it inside of me. So when I connect to the outside world and it does not move in the same way, I can be the one that say, well, it's just that it is slightly imbalanced. You don't want my help? Snip. I'll cut off all my help. Again, that's just for me. And you might feel like it's harsh. That person might feel like it's harsh because I don't want to work with them. But no, I'm sorry. It doesn't work inside of me. I've already given myself victory in how it's going to look. And guess what? You have snipped the cord. I didn't change it. I'm just walking through the modeled life that I've already created for myself. And if you're not there, guess what? I gotta learn how to communicate that. And guess what? If I'm feeling stressed, I'll just breathe through it. And I'll have routines to help connect me to my communication. I'll continue to give myself flower, and I'll continue to bring up unbalanced justice to myself, because I'm protected in my creative expression, and you are too. So when you express yourself and I express myself, and there's a severance between the two, hey, that's just two strangers walking by. Two strangers driving on one lane going this way and the other lane going that way. We're crossing paths, and I wanted to drive and you wanted to drive, but we don't even know each other outside of us seeing us drive past one another. And I can think I know about how far you are in the past, but I don't know exactly. You might have sped up, you might have slowed down. But guess what? I now know the connection between my thoughts and mine and my underground. I know my lower self because I'm aware of the things that I'm aware of, and I'm aware of the things that I'm not, and all of those things are bringing justice. And so, let's jump ahead and let's see what Monday brings us. Monday brings us speaking. So it's like you jumping onto a whole new adventure, and you being able to see, hey, okay, in this week here, I've done enough to where I can connect my thoughts with my breath, my values with my thoughts with my breath, my blessings or the justice of me being a creative individual, my protection from my ancestors. I can take that and with the value that I have in myself, and which is why I even have this protection and this justice. And then I can communicate to myself as I make sure I have the correct algorithms for the models that I have in world. And then I can look at breathing those models into life, into the external world, our creative units, and then we can communicate with those beastly beings who have yet to connect with their own thoughts and their own values and find their own justice, who seeks to bring in balanced justice upon their own selves in a way that is lower opposed to the higher. But I can quell those demons, those beasts within me, and I can use them to intimidate, to move things. Those are things that are stuck, and those are things that are moving. People will either run, flee, right, in danger, or they'll freeze in danger. I'm running, I can't move. An animal will help do both. It'll soften the energy or harden the energy. But that's the beautiful thing, because we can speak about that. Whatever you got going on, you're going to have to talk. That is the final lesson that I've learned, because I realized that it's continuation. This number 9 year is a year of reflection. But the number 9 is a conglomeration of a binary system. The number 9 is a trinary system itself, but then, which is 3 times 3, or 3 squared. But this is also the idea of the circle part of 9 being a 0, and then the line part of 9 being a 1. Binary, 1s and 0s. This here is what is involved in your skills of oration. It doesn't matter what 1 or 0 combination that you have, it's going to be talked about now as an individual, aka 9, aka the you. So now, a kid goes from 9 years old to 10-year-old, right? It goes from a 9 and then it gets broken down to a 1 and a 0. That shows that I've held on space. So the life that you've been living, the life of week 51, is going to help you continue to tell this story for the future, just for fun. Let's see what's our Sunday. Woo! Baby, you're becoming more sensitive and need to make changes accordingly. You now have reflected. This week, by Sunday, you're going to realize the things that you're going to need. And you're going to open your mouth, you're going to talk about it. Hey, hubby, we need to get this junk food out the fucking house, and we need to get some healthier junk food in the house. Here, if you have an issue with food, the easiest way to eat, like, I'm going to show y'all, I'm going to do it before and after for the end of the year. I'm going to show and do all my respark shit. Again, I think time is crazy because it helps us understand things. So I've been expressing myself doing other things just to re-express myself. Haha, it's crazy. But that is what life is. I realized the other day that I got 10 courses in my online course, but in reality it's just 8. You go up to the value. And in that value, or the self-management, you rest and restore. That's the final stage. And then course 10 is just the continuation. And in the continuation, you might go from like being super healthy to a person who's like has cancer. And then you beat cancer, and then all of a sudden you might get, Lou Gehrig's disease or something, wasting syndrome. And it's like in life, as we continue to live on, we're going to have a lot of differences pop up. We can see different health issues in people at different ages. So it's not about like seeing it for what it is. It's about understanding what it is. And it's just life being lived. That's all. So if we can know how to be aware, which is course 1, all the way up to the management of that self-awareness in course 8, then by course 9 we can rest and recover on things, because we've realized we're resting on all the things that we're managing upon the self. And so when we rest and restore, we're restoring ourselves with a newfound sensitivity to the things around us. This is like seasoning a pan, or like cast iron skillet, or like a wok. When you season that, you're embedding it with a certain sensitivity, because it needs to be sensitive to the things moving forward. This is temperance. That's all this is. So whatever life that you've been living or planning to live, or reflecting that you need to change upon, you now have tempered that, and you won't be talking about it. Let's get our final overall message for this week 51. Self-creative expression. Music is going to be your key. Your connection to music is healing for yourself and for others. I'm sure I got music going on in the background right now, right? Yeah. Hopefully that makes it easier for you to stay here and listen to these things. I know I like to talk, and I know I'm long-winded, but life, this is just so short. It's a short-ass lecture in the overall construct of your life that you're living. And if you can't listen to this, it's going to be hard for you to understand all of you. You're a long-ass time. So this is a little bit of time for you to help you express yourself, and I hope the music keeps you engaged and in tune. It used to in the classroom. It keeps people mellow, just some cool, chill people, and it keeps you focused. And then I guess, sometimes I'll be rhyming with the words or with the beats, and it just harmonizes quite well. Hopefully it helps you express yourself in a creative way. And hopefully you realize that your creative expression is protected, and that protection is led as justice. So go be more of yourself. Go pick up your books, Soul Inspiration series, Respark for Your Fitness series, which is affordable self-care or self-help, and be great. I'm Mr. Renew. Thank you for being here. Soul Sparked Tarot. This is part 2. Oh, by the way, I've been working on a series. I've been breaking down tarot. So got a tarot education playlist coming at you. I'm probably going to be posting around 1 to 2 videos a week on there, just to make sure that you guys understand the tarot in and of itself, and how it really helps you, and how it should be properly applied, because I know enough about the real world to understand the depths of the details behind the spiritual world. I'm not saying I know everything about the spiritual world. I understand a lot about the in-between, which is spirit coming into the real world and the real world going into the spirit. Again, I was met with death, and it brought me life. So I'll see you next time.